Welcome back to another Ad Daily News. Today is my final NHL Mock Draft 2024. And this one, I'm not going to go deep on each player. Most of you know exactly who they are. And I'm going to do a short version of my final mock draft. And I'm going to do all the first round picks from 1 to 32. First of all, the San Jose Sharks are going to select from the Boston University, McLean Celebrini. Celebrini is no doubt is going to be the number one on the NHL Draft 2024. We know Celebrini is the best player, skilled, talented, wise, compared to any other prospect of this NHL draft. The number 2 overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks guys for the last couple of weeks are thinking to take Lechenov, but the fact they met Dimitrov the last couple of days could change their mind, but I still believe with the fact they don't have any right defenseman, only Renzel and Lechenov could become a first pairing defenseman in NHL. I feel like the Chicago are going to select from the Michigan State, 6'2", 209 pounds, Artem Lechenov over Evan Dimitrov. The Anaheim Ducks with the general manager Pat Verbeek. Very difficult to read Verbeek. It can go to many directions. You look about the prospect pool they have. They have a lot of young players, 22 younger prospect like McTavish, example, Gauthier. You have Zegras. And then I feel like their defenseman side is pretty good, but still believe Verbeek could go with Dimitrov, but he's going to go with the big Gen 6'7" from the KHL. I'm talking about Anton Zeliev. We know Zeliev is maybe the best shutdown defenseman on this draft. It reminds me a lot of Noah NFN, and I feel like the Anaheim Ducks are going to select Anton Zeliev. Now, number 4 overall pick, the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is almost like a dream because they still see Dimitrov on the board. We know they was expect to select Langstrom because they would like to have a duo, Fantilli and Langstrom. But say, wait a minute. We have Evan Dimitrov, no hesitation from the new general manager, Dan Wendell, are going to select, of course, Evan Dimitrov. Dimitrov is now at 6 foot and bigger at the 168 pounds was a report. Met many teams last week, and he was really impressed by many teams. The fact he have a really good English, and they believe Dimitrov is going to be a great hockey player in NHL. We know Dimitrov, in my opinion, is the second best player overall after Celebrini. No doubt the Columbus are going to select Dimitrov. Now, Dimitrov could be out at number 2, number 3. If this is the case, Columbus could go with Langstrom. But it's time to talk about your Montreal Canadiens. And of course, I'm talking about the general manager Ken Hughes. Hughes can go with size, can go with skill, and he can go with another defenseman. Can the Montreal Canadiens shock again for the 3rd year? The Montreal Canadiens fans, we know they select Sakoski over Shane Wright. They select Rebacker over Michkov. And now the fans will love to get Dimitrov, but Dimitrov is not there. Many fans are worried about the injury, Kaden Langstrom. Many fans does not want Montreal to select a defenseman. Many fans would love to have Iginla at that pick. Some would love to have Seneca, the highest riser players. And some fans would love to get Katten, the most skilled players, I believe, now on the board. At the end of the day, Ken Hughes does not listen any fans, and they're going to select Kaden Langstrom for the Minnesota at 6'4", 216 pounds. He brings size. I believe Langstrom could become more a winger in NHL. You can add that body besides Sakoski and Doc. That gave a big top 6 forward now for the Montreal Canadiens. I know if Montreal select Langstrom, they know exactly what he looked like, the injury, the report of the medical staff. They don't take any chance. If it's not him because the report is wrong, don't be surprised Montreal could select Seneca or Biombe. But I still believe they're going to stay with Kaden Langstrom. Now, for the Utah ex-Coyotes with Armstrong, I still believe they're going to go with the defenseman. And they have only Thursday, and I know they select last year Simashev. I feel they're going to select Sam Dickinson from the London Knights. Dickinson, 6'3", 194 pounds. Great skater for his stature. And I feel like he fit very well with the Arizona Coyotes or now the Utah. And I think Dickinson is going to be selected by the team. 7 overall pick, the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa Senators, guys, I feel with already have Jake Sanderson with Chick Run and Shabbat on the left side. They already have a ton of great prospect, a good young players, 25 years old and younger. The Ottawa Senators are going to select, of course, Zane Parekh, the right defenseman, 6 foot, 181 pounds. Scored last year, guys, 33 goals with the team Saginaw Spirit. Parekh, really great skater, great oriented offensive defenseman. He reminds me a lot Erik Karlsson. He could become the Erik Karlsson 2.0. He struggled on the defensive side. Still, I think Parekh could become a great defenseman in NHL. The Seattle Kraken, they already have a couple of great prospect forward, but they're still missing a good first pairing defenseman. We know right now most of the time is Larson or, of course, Vince Dunn. But I feel like the Kraken are going to select by Ron Francis, Zev Biom. Biom play with the Denver University, winner of champion of the NCAA of the season 23-24. Great skater, 6 foot, 183 pounds. I really like his hockey sense, his hockey IQ. I think he could become a great 200 weight defenseman with time. He's going to be a first pairing defenseman. So great selection, guys, for the team of the Seattle Kraken. And yes, for the Flame, it's almost another dream like the Columbus when they select Dimitrov. They not hesitate. They're not looking anymore. They're going to select, of course, the son of Jerome Igela. Great player with the Flame. Now, if they're going to select DJ Igela, Igela have a great year this year in the WHL. 6 foot, 185 pounds. For me, he brings the energy. He doesn't afraid to go in front of the net. He have a great release shot. I would love him to improve more his stick angling, and his hand is also his skating. But the way he play, he bring energy on the eyes, and I think he's going to helping other players around him. He could become a center or a left winger in NHL. Calgary cannot be more happier to select Igela. A number 10 overall pick, if they still have the pick, we know they have some kind of negotiation between the Carolina and the Devils, maybe for a trade for Martin Necas, and Devils going to trade that 10 overall pick. But if they have an opportunity to do this, I believe now they're going to select Pickett Seneca. Seneca is the highest player riser in the last 2 months and the NHL Prospect 2024. Big winger at 6'2" right now, 180 pounds. He dominates for the Oshawa team, the playoff. That's the reason Oshawa go almost all the way. And obviously an injury at the semifinal stopped a little bit Seneca, but still at the end of the day, great shifty player, great hands. He have a great hockey IQ sense also, and I like his physicality of his game. I think Seneca could be on the top 10. He's right now the number 10, but don't be surprised a team could go with Seneca earlier in this NHL draft. Now, on number 11 for the Buffalo Sabres, they have a ton of the young prospect forward. They have a lot of great defensemen now with the trade for B-Ram from the Colorado Avalanche with Samuelson and, of course, Dalin and Power. But I still believe they're targeting now a right defenseman. I'm talking about Carter Yakinchuk, 6'3", 194 pounds. For him, really oriented on the offensive side of the game, a little bit like Parekh. Great stick angling. I love his hockey sense, but he have an amazing great shot and great accuracy. Obviously, he need to improve his skating. This may be the only problem I can see on Yakinchuk. That may be the reason he's out on my top 10. But again, he's physical, and I think it will bring some kind of dimension the Buffalo does not have right now for the next couple of years. So I think Yakinchuk is a great selection. Now, the Flyers for the second year for the general manager, Dan Briere, after he selected Michkov last season, I think they're going to targeting a center, a 200 way center. And I think now it's going to be a Costa Elias at 5'11", 180 pounds. Look, this kid is a great IQ hockey. He have a great hockey sense. I like his skating. I would love him to improve a bit more his shooting and shoot more on the net. But still, he's a playmaker, but he's really good on the defensive side of the game, and that's the reason Elenia is going to be selected by the Flyers after they select Michkov last year. The Minnesota Wild, they can go with many directions, a defenseman or a forward. I feel they're going to maybe take the most talented, skilled players after Dimitrov and Celebrini as a forward, and they're going to select, of course, in the WHL, Berkeley Catton, great skater. I would love him to get a little bit more explosiveness inside of his skate. But overall, I love his puck handling. He's really shifty. He have a great playmaker. He see the all different option. He can pass the puck. Good shooting. Accuracy is pretty good. And he have, of course, a hockey sense really elevate. For me, he can bring some kind of physicality. I'm not sure he's going to be a center at full-time in NHL, but I feel like Captain's going to be a great asset at long term for the Minnesota Wild. The San Jose Sharks, for the second time after this pick, Celebrini. We know last year they had Will Smith. They said, no, we need to add a winger, and why not to get the best scorer in this NHL draft? I'm talking about Cole Hazelman. Hazelman played with the national team USA last year, beat the record of Cole Caulfield, a 6-foot winger, 196 pounds. He's the youngest players on prospect on this NHL draft. He could be on the NHL draft 2025. Look, he can shoot the puck. He have a great release, great on the power play. This kid have every tools to be a great scorer in NHL. Now, can he carry on this at long term? Because some have some kind of concern about his character, his immaturity. But at the end of the day, look his number, his physical, I believe, for his age and the way he play. But I would love him to become better on the defensive side to increase a little bit more his hockey sense. But at the end, a great selection for the Sharks. And of course, after they select Celebrini and Smith to get Eiserman for the Sharks, this is a team is getting better and better very quickly. Now, the Detroit Red Wings, guys, in the last 3 months, everybody believed that Detroit is going to select only one player. I'm talking about Nygaard. And they don't see anybody else for Michael Nygaard from Norway. Big 6'1" right winger, 198 pounds. After Elias, he may be the best 200-way players on the NHL prospect. He's a great skater. I love his energy. Played a bit at the level of the Igala. His physicality of the game is very good. His defensive zone coverage is great. And I would love him to maybe add a little bit more his passing to become a better playmaker. But at the end, of course, Nygaard is going to be a great attraction for the Detroit. But also, take a note, Detroit could go with another defenseman like Zoberg. But I feel like Eiserman is going to sit with Nygaard. For the St. Louis Blues, I feel like they're going to get with a defenseman. Yes, they can go with Zoberg for more physicality of his game, but still believe they're going to go with Adam Jiricek. Jiricek is 6'2". Unfortunately, like his brother got a huge major injury last year. He's only 170 pounds, but still, I feel like he has everything to be a great defenseman for the St. Louis Blues. He have a great shot. He's oriented offensive side. I would like him to maybe become a better skater. That's maybe one area of his game could hold him to be a first pairing defenseman. But again, I really like Jiricek at number 16 overall pick by the St. Louis Blues. Now, with the Washington Capitals, guys, if you look deep in the last 6-7 years, never they select at the first round a defenseman. No doubt in my mind, they love the Russia players. They will go maybe with Chernyshov, coach. No, they're going to go with the most physical defenseman on this draft, guys. Yes, they're going to go with Stian Zoberg. This kid can hit. He reminds me a lot of Romanov with the Montreal Canadiens when they draft him on the second round pick. Big defenseman, 6'2", already as 200 pounds. You can see the number of physical is at 8. I would love him to increasing his level of the hockey sense, shooting more on the net. and his second link, so a little bit more oriented on the offensive side of the game. But I said at the end of the day, he is a great skater, and I think he will bring a great asset for the Capitals, where the defensive, if you look about what they have, they don't have any physicality. If you think about John Carlson, or you think about Jensen, example, or DVR. So at the end, great selection for Washington at 18. Chicago Blackhawks return on the stage to select for the second time after they select Litchinov for the Michigan State. I think they're going to targeting a forward, and maybe surprise some of you. I think they would take a chance to select Trevor Connelly. Connelly played at the USHL last year. Great scorer. Remind me a lot Kyle Connors for the Winnipeg Jets. 6'1". I would like him to become bigger and with time. But again, he is a great skater. Great shifty, great hands. And of course, he can put a puck in the net with his accuracy. I would love him to be a little bit more physical. But at the end, if you remember, Connor is not a big winger in NHL, but he have a great shooting percentage. I feel like Connelly could become that player. We know he has some red flag around him. I don't want to talk about this, but at the end, this is a great selection for Chicago. Now they have Litchinov and Connelly on this NHL draft. Now the Vegas Golden Knights, I believe they could go with many directions. Chernizov, or they can go with Luchenko, or they can go with Baudouin, Michael Edge, or Sacha Boisvert. Or they can maybe go with a defenseman, but I still believe I like the way he play, and I feel like it will be a good fit with the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm talking about Jet Luchenko. The kid is physical, and he skates well for his 5'11", 183 pounds. Short to the right is a center, and he's overall pretty good. Those numbers, 5.5, 5, and 5 is not bad at all. But I would like him to increasing a bit more the playmaker on the ice for him. Luchenko, I feel, is a great fit for the Vegas Golden Knights. And number 20, Islanders drop at 20 after they trade with the Chicago Blackhawks at 18. The Islanders missed many things. Defenseman, forward, and I feel like for them to add size, and I think that would be a great fit for them if they select Liam Grantree, 6'2", 198 pounds. I feel like he will be a great additional, great player for the Islanders. Look his number. Shooting, passing, puck handling, and hockey sense is great at 7. Physical also, but sometimes it disappears. And I feel like he needs to step up more. You see what happened with Team Canada? He didn't play a big game. And I think his skating is another area he needs to improve because he does not have a lot of explosiveness, and also his edge work is limited. I feel like that's an area where Grantree need to improve. But I think for the Islanders to add a player like him, size is a great additional player for the Islanders. The Legend Kings now. I think the Legend Kings are going to surprise a couple of people here. A lot of you are thinking Boisvert, Baudouin, or Michael Edge. They are still on the board. I think the Kings are going to go with a Russia player. They are not afraid to pick a player from Russia. And at this time, it's a time to pick Igor Chernyshev, big 6'2", 196 pounds. Great stick angling, really shifty, great hands, physical also. Good skater for his size, but he needs to improve a little bit more his hockey sense with his passing on the ice. Overall, this is a great pick for the King with the Chernyshev. He's going to become, I believe, in NHL at least a minimum a top 9. It could become a top 6 also. For the Nashville Predator, they already have a couple of great defensemen on the prospect. I think they could add also forward. And no doubt in my mind, this is a time to get out. I think my board is a bit late. Don't be surprised if he get picked earlier compared what I put him right now with the Nashville Predator. I'm talking at the 22nd overall pick, Michael Edge, UCHL with the Chicago Steel. 6'1", center, 190 pounds. Another great player with great hands. I would allow him to improve his physicality of the game. Good skater for his size, but overall is a great center. And for the Nashville to add that kind of player, we know Nashville, the position center is not great on the prospect, and I feel like this is a good fit for the new general manager, Barry Trotz. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they could add another defenseman there. Example like Charlie Elick is one of them, or any forward, and I feel it's a time for them to go with another forward. Why not to go with Sacha Boisvert? Boisvert, another players have a great year on the USHL at 6'2", 180 pounds. Again, only for me is only problem is his skating. He need better edge work, in my opinion, but he's physical. As a center, he could play also winger. He have a great passing game. Puck handling is good. Hawkinson is really good. Have a good shooting. Accuracy is pretty good overall for Boisvert. But I think for that selection, 23rd overall pick by the Toronto, this is a great fit Boisvert with the Leaf. Now, number 24, Colorado Avalanche. This is no doubt on my mind. If it's still on the board, Colorado does not hesitate to select Cole Baudouin. He really fit the way Colorado build their players. I think this 6'2" center, 200 pounds, is physical. He have a great work ethic, is maybe the best prospect in shape, is a rat at the gym. I think this is a great fit for the Colorado Avalanche to add a center at 6'2", 200 pounds. I like his hockey sense, his shooting also. He need to improve more his hands, puck handling, and also his skating. But overall, the way he play, I feel like he fit well for the Colorado Avalanche. The number 25th overall pick, it was a selection of the Ottawa Senators. They make a trade for the goaltender Linus Ullmark, and they gave the 25th overall pick to the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins select, no doubt in my mind, Tarek Parashchak. He is a great right winger, 5'11", 180 pounds. What I like for him is hockey sense. He's really great on his hockey IQ, great passing. Have a good shot, by the way, but the only problem is his skating. This is my only concern about him. It could become more a bottom six and maybe a four line in the NHL, but I like the way he play. I think he could fit with the Boston Bruins because he likes to be physical and he does not afraid to go in front of the net. So I think this is a great selection by the Boston Bruins. For the Montreal Canadiens, for the second time after they select Caden Langstrom, Cole, are they going to go with the defenseman? Not yet. I think they're going to select the third best shooter in this NHL draft. And I'm talking about the Finland, Emil Emen. Emen, another great right winger, 6'2", guys. We add a 6'4". We already have a 6'3", 6'4" with Dak Sakaski. Now we add a 6'2", 195 pounds shoot on the right. Very physical. The only problem for him is he need to improve his hockey sense. And I think this is some area he need to become better. But great stick angler, great pass. He has a great shot. It's powerful, it's strength. He have a great accuracy. And I think this fit very well. Montreal Canadiens. He's a great skater, by the way. The only thing, like I mentioned to you, is hockey sense need to improve. I would like him to be a little bit more physical. But at the end of the day, Emen is a great selection if he's still there for the Montreal Canadiens. For the Carolina Hurricanes, they're going to go to another direction. I feel like it's time for them to select a right defenseman. They're going to lose now Petche, and I feel like they need a little bit more prospect on that side for the Carolina Hurricanes. I think they're going to select, for me, Dominic Badinka, great 6'3", 190 pounds, shoot on the right. He is a great physical player, great skater for his age. He have a great hockey sense, but obviously he need to improve his shot on the net. That's the only area I feel like he's not great. But again, this is a great selection by the Carolina Hurricanes. The Calgary Flames return on the board and no hesitation after they select Igala. They're going to add a great left defenseman. I'm talking a big 6'3", AJ Emery. 6'3", 185 pounds. I apologize, I said left, but he's a right defenseman. He's a little bit more a defenseman home. And when I said that, he's really physical. He have a great skater, but he does not carry on that skate on the transition or on offensive side, like stick angling the puck. This only problem I have with him. That's the reason he's out at 27. If not, I would be surprised to be a top 20 if he could improve his shooting on the net, his passing, and his stick handling where he does not have great hands. But overall, Emery brings physicality, size for the Flame. I think that's a great selection for the Calgary Flames. For the Dallas Star, guys, this is a player I feel he fit very well. And I'm talking about Ryder Ritchie. Why? Because he have a great hockey sense. He have a great hands. Really shifty, by the way, and a great skater. And, of course, he have a great shot. I think those attributes help him to become a great top 9 in NHL. If possible, could be a top 6 if he can improve his skating and his physicality of the game. But for me, the way he play, he fit very well in the Dallas Star. Now, the next player I want to talk about, select by the New York Rangers. They can go with defensemen, with Charlie Elick, but I still believe they're going to add a little bit more speed and an older player of this NHL draft. I'm talking about, guys, Andrew Basha, a left winger, 6'11", 6 foot, 185 pounds. Like, for me, I like his skating, really fast, great hockey sense, and a great passing game he has. I would love him to improve a little bit his stick handling, but still, he is a great skater. And if you put this all together with some kind of physicality, for me, Basha could become a great third-line players in NHL. This is a great fit at the end of the day for the New York Rangers. 31 overall pick, guys. Anaheim Ducks, after they select Ziliev, I think they're going to go with more forward. And why not to select another Russian players? And this time they're going to select Nikita Artamonov, 5'11", 187 pounds. This kid have a great hockey sense, great IQ, and then he can make a lot of playmaking on the ice. I like his shot. His skating is not bad. His physicality is not bad at all. But at the end, he have a great hands. All those numbers is pretty good if you think about this. Again, at 31 overall pick, it could become a bottom 6, and it could be a great asset to join the player like McDavid, example, or Gauthier, another strong power forward for the Anaheim Ducks. And finally, my last pick of the day from the Flyers, guys. After they select Elinias as a center, I think they're going to go with a right defenseman. Player could play with Jimmy Trestle behind him. I'm talking about the big 6'3" Charlie Elick. 198 pounds, great skater, in my opinion, as a defenseman. I would like him to have a better hands. That's the only area of his game he does not have. Overall, Elick is very physical, great hockey sense, great shooter, and of course, he can pass the puck. And Elick could be selected, guys, earlier at the first round, I believe. But I think to see him at the end of this draft by the Flyers, they will select of course, the defenseman, Charlie Elick. That's it. That's all, guys. This concludes my final mock draft. Hopefully, you enjoyed this episode. Of course, I will be back tomorrow with my additional final mock draft only for the Montreal Canadiens. And, of course, don't forget to join me live Friday night, 6:30 p.m. for the NHL Draft 2024. Thanks for watching another video of the Daily News. Don't forget to click on the like, subscribe, leave me a comments, and of course, remember, you have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, great, blessed day, everybody.